Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to discuss the finer elements of biomechanics and essentially how to increase your speed and power using modern biomechanics and how the old guys used to do it and how to merge the two so you get the best value. You know, one of the really cool things about the body is it's just like a sports car. You can upgrade certain parts of it and that'll give you speed, power, whatever you want. Whether it be in the gym or doing drills, etc., you can always become more efficient. Change the oil, change your supplements, the food you eat, all that kind of stuff will have an impact on how far you hit the golf ball. But for those of you that don't want to go the extra mile, there are some tips and tricks that I'm going to give you today that are going to really help you increase your speed without losing balance, losing consistency of shot pattern, and then finally, without losing the ability to hit the golf club in the center of the face. So stick around, it's going to be an interesting day because I don't think anybody's ever taught these drills before, so I'm excited to share. So it's getting a little windy here today. We've got a cold front coming in. It's going to drop down into the negatives this weekend. It's Friday today. And essentially, we're hitting into a pretty good headwind. I've got a 5-iron here. I just want you guys to understand, I'm going to show you some of the TrackMan data when I'm done. I'll highlight it for you because I can't screen capture from this range area. But what I will do is I'll show you the map after I'm done hitting, and you guys can see my numbers so you understand. So this is a 5-iron. I typically hit this between 220 and 230 here at elevation, with about a 200 to 210, 215 carry depending on how warm it is and all the environmental conditions. So today though, it looks like it's only going about 190 total, maybe 180 in the air with the range walls and the headwinds. So let's go ahead and get started and start talking about ways to increase power. Okay, so yeah, we're getting about 128 mile an hour ball speed. That particular shot went 180, carried 180 at least, and finished at 191 yards. About 93 feet in height, and had a pretty good cut on it because again, the wind is, you guys can see the flags are kind of blowing basically east-northeast today. So what we're going to talk about is how to decrease and increase speed using biomechanics. And there's a lot of different ways to do it. You know, you can look at the long drive guys and you can extend your spine angle, increase your X factor, which is basically from this shoulder to this hip. It's how much stretch you get so that it recoils. You can increase your squat so you can get more ground forces, as they like to talk about today in the modern game. But essentially, each one of those is going to have a pro and a con associated with this. So before you decide to go and do this, you have to consider each. So the first thing we're going to discuss is X factor. In other words, moving your upper body without moving your lower body as far as you can until the lower body comes along and you create a stretch through your entire core, lower back, hips, etc. Right? All the way from the ground to the top of your hands. The more we can do that, the more stretch we can get, the more it'll recoil because our muscles are kind of like rubber bands, right? The more we stretch them and then we fire them, when we contract them, they come back together just like a rubber band. So that's what's known as X factor. I have trained X factor in a number of different ways, but I have found that the best way to train X factor is to have the feeling of high hands while keeping the heel on the ground, okay? So I was taught this drill by a Jim McLean teacher, as well as a really good player that played on the main tours. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to keep your left heel on the ground. And you're going to get your left hand, if you're a right-handed golfer, and your right hand if you're a left-handed golfer, as far away from the ball as possible. Okay? So notice you can go this way with it, right? So we can go that way, or we can go behind us, and And as we go behind us, we get more turn in our spine, which will again stretch our lats and our QL and our psoas and all these different muscles that'll give us even more snapback. Okay? The second thing you can do is you can slightly open your toe. If you keep it closed here, you can get that heel off the ground and get a lot more ground force, but we're going to get into that. So first we're going to work with the X factor. What we're going to do is we're going to open that toe up about 15 degrees like Hogan talks about. And we are going to keep that heel on the ground and get our hands as high as possible. And at the top of the swing, we're going to pause. So it's going to look a little something like this. Okay? From there, you're going to feel a stretch. Well, what you're going to do from this point, after you feel that stretch, is to elongate the stretch. Take it just a little bit further. And then I want you to contract your left glute and just feel what that feels like, okay? So we're going to do all the way to the top, contract just a little bit, and then fire the left glute. That's the whole movement. Now, this is something you're going to practice at home. This is essentially a biomechanics drill. Once you feel like you've got it, once you go to the range, you're going to do what's called a pump. You've probably seen some long drive guys do this. Victor Hovland was doing it for a little while. But essentially what it is you are elongating the stretch while maintaining your ground force. So as you get to here, you're going to go stretch. Don't let this heel come off the ground yet. We're going to get into that next. And then you're going to hit the golf ball. So look a little something like this. What that does essentially is trains your ability to increase your X factor without losing your target awareness, right? If you're keeping your head down and then you fire and you hit it, it's less likely you're going to hit it offline that much. So, yeah, this one finished at my target. Went about 168 yards in the air, had about a ball speed of 118, but, I paused at the top there. We're just getting an idea of what X factor elongation feels like. Okay. So again, the drill at home, golf ball under the foot, take it to the top, stretch it out, fire the glute. Right back to this point, then you're done. You can do between 25 and 100 reps, depending on how you feel. But again, be very careful as we're taking the club back and we're getting our hands very high. Understand that the higher they go behind us into this space, or as Kyle Berkshire likes to say, the further you can get this hand and this shoulder back towards the target, the better off you're going to be.
But the big thing for me is turning my chest up and off the golf ball. Help get some separation and extension in the thorax. Because the more extension you get in the abdominals, the more they can crunch and fire on the way through. But the biggest thing is how far I'm able to get this trail arm to turn. So when I'm going full tilt and you do a slow-mo, this trail arm, I can't even do because it won't statically stay there, will be out to about here with me like this.
Yeah.
So that much extension has such an incredible amount of separation in the obliques and the abs that when I pull down, I'm able to just fire really, really hard. And so the biggest thing I can tell amateurs is to really try to get this lever here, the trail arm lever, as far back and extended as possible. So just go to the top of your swing, and it's this lever here, that getting more and more turn. That turn right there, turning more and more.
So this is where we're trying to get to. And again, we're going to go boom, boom, boom. All we're doing once we get that full stretch is firing that glute. From there, we come to the range, a couple waggles, we take it to the top, we pump it at the top, like so, and then we hit a shot and follow balance. That's okay, I'm wearing a lot of layers. It's just a demonstration for you guys, so hope this helps. Again, 118 ball speed there, so don't, if you do have TrackMan or track, don't think you're going to get big speeds there, but I just want to show you my previous speed is 125. Now I've kind of worked that X factor a little bit a few times. Watch how much speed I pick up. just swinging the club naturally now. So yeah, now we're up to 128. So as you can see, let's see if it finishes. Yeah, so we're up to 128. That was 3 miles an hour. And that's just one of 3 areas that you can work on. The last shot actually went 132 mile an hour ball speed into the wind. So